Hello, everyone. I had every intention of recording that AI video tonight. And as I came here onto YouTube to look up a couple of channels, I stumbled upon a notification that I had meant to get to. You know when that happens. And got to it, and it's from Crypto, as he says, Crypto Exposed. I love how he does that. Gentlemen, I don't remember if he's Scottish, Welsh, don't recall, but you could tell by the accent. In any case, that's irrelevant. Uh, the title of this is Will XRP Replace Nostro Vostro Accounts for Global Big Banks? And this is this video he put up, not in so much as a response video per se, but he brought up some interesting points in this video that I really think need to be addressed. Now, I have fallen into this trap quite a bit, especially as of late with the woohoo about how XRP is doing and everything else. It's great. But let me break it down for you. I'm going to first let you know this. Being inspired by this video, I intend to do an intermittent series called Critical Crypto, and where I'm going to look at another perspective and then try to analyze that perspective and perhaps take it up another notch. And I'm going to do it with this video first. And you're going to see why. Because it is what he did with this video. I would play it, but the algorithm may flag me. I know he would flag me, Crypto Exposed, and we get along fabulously. I have posted this or shared this video on the former Twitter X. Just go to my X. It's in the top of my homepage description there. You can watch it direct. You can look it up this way, what have you. Interacted with him in the comments here. Very nice, very solid person who is legitimately trying to help the community, not trying to shake down anybody for money. Now, let's get to the point of this. He responded to someone in the comments. That someone said that his initial response, or his initial comment rather, was laughable. And this person says you only need to have a small fraction of XRP to bridge all of the cryptos. And first, let me tell you what Nostro Vostro is about. Nostro Vostro means ours and theirs. That's what it translates. So each bank has their own certain amount of a currency. For example, US dollars, Japanese yen, whatever the case may be. In turn, another bank does the same type of thing. They have to keep a reserve of that. So this way they can do what's called interbank, where the banks communicate with one another. And a good example is you get your paycheck from Bank A, but you bank with Bank B. You deposit your paycheck, or of course you get direct deposit, what have you. And because of Nostro Vostro, your check clears. Now you can get into it a little deeper as to why certain checks clear, or payments clear quicker than others. That's a whole rabbit hole. We're going to perhaps push that off to another day, perhaps never hit it again because that's how intense it is. However, the banks have to do that. Now, the common thread in XRP world is that, oh, by having XRP, you're not going to need Nostro Vostro, and that's going to clear up a ton of money. And that's liquidity. The liquidity is what will set you free, basically. Now, to which that whole perspective, Crypto Exposed responds, the problem here is you're guessing as XRP's future. You believe it will handle trillions, blah, blah, blah. And more than likely it will, but he brings up good points in this video that go past this comment already. But in this response to the response, have you heard Mr. Schwartz's recent interview where he said verbatim, banks will not be Ripple's success story? Now, further in this video, he brings up a very good point. Why would a bank, let's say they have $10 billion for Nostro Vostro, why would they not use Nostro Vostro to use XRP, RippleNet? 10 billion is 10 billion, to paraphrase what he says. That's an outlay for the bank. It makes no difference to the bank if it's within Nostro Vostro traditionally or within Ripple Labs, RippleNet, XRP. It makes no difference. 10 billion out is 10 billion out. I'm paraphrasing what he said there. He went into good detail on it. And really take your head and wrap it around that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be critical about that. That is an excellent point. Now, if I'm a bank, you gotta really convince me to put my 10 billion with you, or in this case, I have to put 10 billion in Nostro Vostro. Why should I put another 10 billion in XRP? Who's using it? And that's where, I'm adding to what Crypto Exposed said. Um, that's a huge thing because now all the banks have to do it. They have to communicate. And that's where you get all the stuff that everyone's talking about. Oh, we got this deal, that deal, the other deal, etc. And you can go on any channel and hear about that. But to go back to what he said here, 10 billion out. I'm using my number here, 10 billion. 10 billion out is 10 billion out. It's off the table. So what's the difference? And when you sit back, if you're really into this community, it really hits you like, yeah, what is the difference? So I sat back and I thought about it. And I came to realize something. They want you to sell. They don't mind if you make a little bit of money. Maybe, maybe not. They mind. They only really care about if they make money. And that's a theme that goes back generations to the organized crime era. You could picture any gangster movie. Gangster says, I don't care if you make a little money as long as I get my money. Same principle. Not saying anyone's a gangster or doing illegal activity, blah, 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 yada, yada, disclaimer. But I'm just illustrating an example. But that's how my mind works. It's the environment I grew up in. So I'm thinking about this, and I said, wait a minute. If I only have to drop 100 million on XRP because the price is so low currently, but it shoots up to $10 billion because the price is going to go up. Well, guess what? That gap is the liquidity. That difference in price is the liquidity that everyone is talking about, but nobody's realizing it. And I sat there and I went through this again in my head quite a few times. And I'm like, that's the key. They don't mind if you hold on for a little bit of time, but they're going to want you to sell. So I got a funny feeling we're going to see some more drama coming if my theories or my conjecture, we'll say, is accurate or in the ballpark. So if this critical crypto conjecture I'm coming up with is right, get into XRP now, but really obey the one rule where only buy what you can afford to lose. And I'm going to add to that. Only buy what you can afford to never sell. Because if you never sell and you lock that up, you don't do the exchanges. Yeah, of course you got to buy it somehow. So you got to do exchange and, you know, what cold wallet do you trust? What warm wallet would you use? Yeah, that's a whole other series we talk about in my morning drive videos. But you got to say to yourself, okay, if I can only afford $100 worth, just to pull a number out, or we'll say, if I can only afford 50 XRP, then that's all I'm going to buy. I'm going to lock it away. I'm not going to touch it. Nobody's going to touch it. And we're going to ride this out for as long as it takes. And we're going to see where that money goes. Now, if you want to be brave and say, well, 40 I'll lock up and 10 I'll play around with, that's on you. I am definitely not giving advice in that department. And none of this is advice. This is all conjecture and a discussion. Nothing I say should be construed as financial advice, nor tax advice, credit advice, or legal advice. None of it. We're just having a discussion, you and I. Just want to make that clear. But there is much more to it than what anyone is talking about. It's like the three-dimensional chess you would see in the old Star Trek original series, three levels of chess, and they're going from one level to another, back, up, and down. Picture a whole bunch of tables filled with those chessboards, and they're all playing the same game. That's the world you're in right now. This is not about unicorns and ponies. No, no, no. That's for Bitcoin. Unicorns and ponies. The beta test coin, aka Bitcoin, BTC, it dragged us all in on this, and that's why you're here. That's why I'm here. And if you know about my history, I heard about it in November 2008 before even the first block was mined, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. My friend I had at work, still my friend, yeah, he tried to explain it to me like 5, 6, 8, 10 different ways. I didn't get it. Stepped away from it, got back into it in the end of 2017 to try to clear my head from some drama, and I never looked back. And within a year, I was already looking at other coins because it's good for the OG. It was perfect for his role as the OG, original gangster. Uh, but those times have gone. Uh, Ethereum, we got OG. What am I going to call it? Little G? Okay, Ethereum, be a little G. Uh, and so on. There are just many use cases that I look into. And let me bring it back to XRP. I remember looking at this thing and saying, okay, cross border payments, cross border payments. Now, we all know there's so much more to it than that. So perhaps taking this next level thought beyond what Crypto Exposed was discussing, maybe the derivatives market is really what they're going for. Um, Cross border payments are going to be like bread and butter. It's not the entree. And it's, yeah, cross border payments. You got a lot of bread and butter on a plate, soup and salad. Where's the entree? The entree's in the derivatives market. Perhaps that's Hedera. I don't know. Crypto Exposed is huge on Hedera. Um, but I just want to bring up that elemental point. Why would a bank even bother using XRP except for its speed, its ease of use, its security, everything Rich talks about at Common Sense Crypto? Those are all great reasons to use it in a vacuum. So, what convinces a bank? And I'm not saying Rich is wrong. I'm not saying Crypto Exposed is right. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm taking this from a behavioral economics perspective and applying it to fundamental analysis. What is the behavior of a bank, the bank leader, psychological, the bank board, sort of sociological? What is the groupthink? Groupthink is a term. What is the groupthink of the board of a bank that agrees to go ahead with XRP? It would have to be ulterior motives, unless there's something I'm missing, because I'm not a banker. Nothing I say is banking advice. Gotta protect myself here. It is YouTube. But to get back to that, what would be the driving factor? So please let me know in your comments. My comment here, let's see if I can find it. There it is. Let's see if you can see this. I commented at 19 minutes 45 seconds. For banks to buy low and ride it up would be the only answer. At least that's the only answer that comes to mind right now. That gap in price would be the liquidity. So, what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen who don't know what any of that means? If you buy for $2 and change and it goes up, let's say, to the magic number of 10,000, that difference in price is the liquidity. Now, I'm going to add another level to this, and this arguably could be going into conspiracy theory realm. What if this whole BlackRock BTC ETF and oncoming Ethereum ETF and oncoming rumored allegedly XRP ETF, what if all this stuff was a money grab? Why would it be a money grab, Michael? Well, the fiat currency system is dying. We need a new currency. The ultimate rug pull would be get everyone in on BTC, rug pull them, grab that liquidity, put it somewhere else, then shoot up that something else in its liquidity, and now you just wiped away all the debt. Crazy? Okay, leave me a comment because I want to know what you think. Am I really going off the deep end? Maybe, but I really don't think so. It is so simple and elegant at the same time. The simple elegance of that idea of rug pulling everybody to cover all the debts, and only the banks hold XRP, only the corporations hold Hedera. and then you can add whoever you want. I give you an example. Who really holds IOTA? IOTA, you hear all these original intentions of it. You hear of the problem they have with validation. This I forgot the name of the term, but this central processing of that validator. It was an issue. Um, Supposedly it's been resolved now. But IOTA would be the way for AI and other things to communicate with each other. But originally, to give you an idea, the it was intended as, oh, your super smart fridge needs to order you milk. How's it going to pay for it? IOTA. That was the idea. It has since really moved beyond that by leaps and bounds, but nobody holds it. I say nobody in comparison to the global population. So now, let me bring in that. I'm going to try to tidy this up. Let me try to bring in that idea. Roughly 4 to 5% of the global population actually owns crypto, and a significantly smaller amount of that population is actually into the ISO coins. Even less, of course, into the DAG coins, DAG, like Constellation, etc. And as many of you know, I'm a big proponent of the ISO, the DAG, and to some ironically, Monero. Now, to sew that all up into a stitch, this rug pull would be so huge that it would clear all the debts. And on your back, the people who are patient enough, who are smart enough to not fall into the whole maxi thing. I'm a maxi of insert the crypto, BTC, ETH, blah, 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 blah. If you're smart enough to not be a maxi in this space, you understand use cases, you are by far leaps and bounds ahead of the others. In addition to that, if you are patient with your bags, you are even further along. If you're able to secure your crypto wisely, and it is kind of tricky, a lot of the cold wallets really don't bother with these unique coins that have had explosive growth, by the way, but they don't touch them. Ironic. That's a whole bunch of fodder for another video there. But if somehow you make it through all those steps, the preponderance of logic would be that you're going to be so far ahead of everybody else. So take that mindset, apply it to what we initially discussed here with how the gap is the liquidity. And my thought is that, like the BIS has said, it's XLM and XRP. Who was the other one I was talking about? XDC. I mean, they always mention ISO coins. You hardly ever hear about the DAG coins, which I find very interesting that you hardly ever hear of those. Very interesting. Uh, but it's their short version, ladies and gentlemen. They're building out the exit liquidity as they build out the technology. So everyone's focused on technical analysis for how's it behaving, and technical analysis has its benefits, it has its virtues, it's a good thing. But the fundamentals, go deep and apply logic, not everyday logic. Talk about formal logic. If this, then that. Apply that to all the fundamentals that you see, and you start to see a game going on. So I'm not saying crypto exposed is wrong. I'm not saying the other people are wrong either. I'm actually saying they're both right. Now, if you say, okay, if they're both right, Mike, then everything you said, that might be a lot to take in one shot. Just give yourself a little rest and think about it. This is one of the largest games ever played, with many players on many chessboards, all the chessboards multi level. But I am of the belief that if you apply KISS, keep it simply stupid, or some people call it keep it simple stupid, whatever, or stupidly simple, whatever. I think if you stick with the basics of patience, time, don't be greedy, don't need to look at your crypto every day. Well, you should always check and make sure it's still there. But you lock it up securely. You don't need to have it on exchanges. If you apply these good basics, you're going to come out ahead. Well, that's what I got for today. That's what my takeaway is from this XRP replacing Nostro Vostro video from Crypto Exposed. And this gave me some really great ideas about looking at the opposing view in a non-emotional way, in a logical way, uh, applying classical logic, or at least a version of it. So let me know what you think. Please like, please subscribe. I've got people watching this video. According to the analytics, they're watching, subscribing, and not liking. What's that about? You never know. It's YouTube. Uh, I'm going to post this onto X as well. Try to get some love that way. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you. Huge shout out to Crypto Exposed. And go ahead and give him a follow. Okay. Take care. Thank you. Bye.